Okay. Um. So as always, I just want to start by saying thank you, God. Listen, I know that bad things are gonna happen to me, and I ask God to give me strength to deal with all this horrible torture I'm gonna go through. And I know the torture are gonna be bad because the humiliation of what they do has been continuously shown that they have this pattern of doing these things. You know, I couldn't live my life doing what they do. Listen, I understand the empowerment they get out of that because they can have the ultimate, the extreme confidence of what's going to happen to me because everything that's going to happen to me is going to be orchestrated. That can give somebody empowerment that they can't find anywhere else. And so I understand that special feeling they get in the sense that for me, you can be very confident in regard to what's going to happen to me. Very. Because the truth is, it's just the participating to what's happening to me. They're not the people really in charge of what's happening to me. This is happening to me because I'm a test subject. Test subject. That's it. The government is using us as these guinea pigs to perfect this technology, where at this point it's utilized onto us like a cognitive weapon. And so we are a test subject to this warfare that perhaps is the future warfare. And so the way they break us down is using these cognitive manipulations. And so when I hear these people involved, because the people involved in there, they're not these sophisticated beings. They're not anybody special. It takes their, they have to spend their time doing these things where they truly have to minimize their intellect. It's really staying character as long as they can, and making sure that I identify with these manipulations. And so as I see things for the thing, what it is, their job is to disorient me. For example, I'm calling out what this is about. I'm a test subject. The government has been running this program for decades and decades where they use this very sophisticated technology, which is a weapon at this point, to break us down using these cognitive tactics, obviously physically, but this is not as it's easy to figure that out in the sense of your body is breaking down, but that's you see the effect of it. But the psychological breakdown is what they do. The cognitive weaponry is what is really destructive. And so as I'm saying that, I'm hearing this person coming out of the whatever they are. At least it sounds like that, and they tell me how it's over. They're gonna torture you. They're gonna do this and that. Now, things for me, the truth is, I understand it's been over. But the reason why he's telling me of all these horrible things that's gonna happen to me is because I am saying the things that's happening to me. That I am recognizing that their job is to cognitively manipulate me to break me down. And I know that I am a test subject where these governmental entities have been using this technology for decades in order to develop this technology. And their job is to continuously break me down psychologically. That is their assignment. In the for this whole program, even in my program, these people interacting with me are actually nobodies, in a sense that they can all go away, but this will continue to happen to me. So I see them truly for what they truly are. They're just implementing the tactics. And the confidence they get is the confidence of knowing that the government is using me as a test subject, and you better be sure that this technology is that sophisticated and the resource of this program is this resourceful that whatever they want it to happen is going to happen, and they are in this program. But the truth is, I understand that they have no idea what's going to happen to them. And as one of these perps said it in a way that it was supposed to be aimed toward me, she said, everything has its time. And she's right. But she wasn't thinking about the time these people, or their time, they actually take away. Like, it's like they stop living and they dedicate their life in these gimmicks that they've created where they completely forget that they're actually not gods. That they are truly these bottom feeders and their job is supposed to do that. So as she says that there's a time for everything. She's trying to make me think, no, it's time for you to die. I'm like, you are not seeing the reality of things. You're right. You said something very correct. That everybody has everything has its time. Right now, your time is to work for a governmental entity that manipulate human beings in these disturbing ways. That the test subject life is completely orchestrated, which you involve in that orchestration, and they are tormented in very disturbing ways. And so much is can be done to this test subject because all of that is part of the developing of the technology. My sufferance is going to be looked at in a way that is helpful to develop this technology. But then she or he will have to live life, and life is life. And then there'll be a time for them to be reminded how nothings they are. To be reminded that the confidence they had in regard to what's going to happen to me is because this person is a test subject for these governmental entities that do so much horrible things. And you are involved in this program that does so much horrible things to not only men, but even women and children. So your time will be properly reimbursed for your effort and time you spend on doing these things. Now, I don't want to sound biblical, but this is something I like to bring up because target individual, you have to find dignity in what's happening to you. You could have been there doing what they do. Make yourself sound and create this character 24/7 where you truly have to minimize your self-respect, minimize your intellect in order to make somebody accept these manipulations. It was so bad earlier today, and I don't know how they can stay strong within maintaining this character, that they did this manipulation to me toward a child. As always, for me, these cognitive manipulations are aimed toward children, from the babies to the older kids. It's nonstop. They find ways to try to create this personality that they want you to identify with. And 24/7, from the day you wake up to the day you go to sleep, and while you're asleep, it's nonstop. To not only condition you, but make you identify the manipulation they make you experience right now. And so, this person, at one point, they were doing this manipulation with this 7-year-old girl. And as I'm saying that, they made me bite myself, which is the things they do to kind of create this conditioning at a wedding. And, they did some kind of thing. And then later on, they brought it up. It's like, oh, how did we do this manipulation? Because sometimes they do these things, right? They're so disgusting. Throughout the day, they create sexual arousals by making me, first of all, think about a sexual moment with a woman, me having sex with a woman, and think about us together, being together, and just stimulate me, and then they do that on purpose. Because as I then look at my phone or I'm watching a movie or whatever, there's gonna be a baby, and then stimulate me toward that baby using this arousal they started having me have because I was thinking about me with my ex-girlfriend or me with this woman in a sexual way. And they were cranking it up too. They were cranking and making it more exaggerated, more forced. And I always know it's like, oh, you stimulate me for a purpose. You just want me to they try to act like this sexual stimulation are happening because I'm thinking about me having sex with this woman, right? But it's even too forced. It's like even that is too intense. And now I recognize, oh, you're doing that because at some point I'm going to look at a child and you're going to have those arousals that you're starting off right now aimed towards this child. And they did that throughout the day. At one point, there was literally a baby, in a blanket. You can not even see a baby. You just see somebody holding something that looks like a baby, which is a baby. And and so they're trying to they try to they do that often, all the time, try to create this. And at one point I'm watching this show, and in the background there's this baby, this 7-year-old, and they start doing something real quick. I was like, oh well, and then they brought this back, and this is this mental cognitive warfare that I'm talking about. This is what manipulation they do. And then they brought that back up, and oh, how do we manipulate you this time? Was it the because, like I said, one way they do this is make me think of me as a woman having a sexual interaction, then stimulate me, and then look at my phone and there's a child there, and they stimulate me this way. It's so disturbing. We are truly are guinea pigs in that fashion. This is a cognitive weapon onto us. And sometimes it's hard to do, but most of the time what happens is I can just out of nowhere I see a child, boom, stimulation, immediate, boom, or some kind of sensation or some thoughts, or just They don't have to do like a pre arousals. They just like stimulate me immediately, like quickly. So it can be both of them. It can be one of them, or sensation came. And so they brought that moment again. It's like, how did we do this? Did we do the pre arousals, or did we arouse you immediately? Or did it's like, it's like, no, this one was real, huh? This was natural. I'm like, you this woman stays so much in character that she's like, oh, they're gonna rape you. Oh, they're asshole. Because they tell me how they're gonna frame me in this pedophilia ways, of course. And so the way she said it with this like character, like, because she was trying to make it sound like, oh, this is so real. This time this is real. Oh, this is what it's so you're gonna be so raped this time. I was like, listen, regardless of what's gonna happen to me, today is not gonna be different from 2 hours ago. It's not gonna be different from an hour ago, a year, a day ago, because this is the things they do all the time. Matter of fact, I looked at my phone, I started going through the videos, scrolling through all the videos. I talk about the exact same thing every day. The reason why I do that is to one, it helps me vent. Your brain is completely being reconstructed, and venting helps kind of put things back in perspective. Now, another reason is to show a pattern. Yeah, they do that all the time. And they can gaslight you and like, oh no, we don't. This is so new. This time, this is first time. This one is real. It's like, and I go through my scrolling, and I'm going through all my videos. It takes me. It had to stop 10 months, because I have at this point over 1,300 or so videos to show that this been done to me so many times. And in my head, they try to create these battles. And to see this woman, or this, not even see, to hear an individual, whatever she is, interacting with me, and I was like, how can you have the strength to dumb yourself down to this level? You have accepted to no longer live in a reality to that level. You have accepted to truly diminish any sense of self-respect. And you're not at war. The way they try to tell themselves like that this is it's acceptable in the sense that they can accept to be this dumbed down, is because this is war. The truth is, we are just guinea pigs. No, you're employed to act this way. That's part of how this is supposed to be accepted by me. This is what's supposed to agitate me. And it's non-stop. These people every day watch me do, like, their life is consumed in doing these things to me. They are not going to live forever. Death is coming to them at one point or another, maybe even before I die. So I'm like, thank you, God, that I'm not spending my Saturday doing this. I'd rather be, even if I was working on a Saturday on the weekend, I'd rather be doing some work somewhere, but not try to dumb myself down 24/7. My life right now is to dumb down myself, to break somebody down. And then the way, the tonality, you think that these people are the bravest human beings right now. This fierceness. Oh, you just had to dumb yourself down. You're a character right now for living. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And then not too long ago, my brain is just so messed up, and they're playing with me nonstop. Right now, they're bringing up what they did. There's these videos about like asking questions to like couples, and I'm scrolling down. Right, I'm going on YouTube. It's always how they've messed with me, and I scroll down and I'm seeing a guy talking to two people, but I'm focusing on the guy at this point. He's like, he looks really young. I'm like, this is it like a kid, a high schooler that just looks? Is it a high schooler, or is it like an adult that looks like a high schooler? And I scroll down, and it was high school, and like, you see, you had doubts. You question yourself if these people were just young people that look like kids, or they were just kids. And mind you, this, even though I saw a couple, I just really paid attention to one guy. It seemed like the one asking questions. And then they start making me imagine, because I glimpsed real quick on the couple. I didn't really process who I was seeing in the couple side, but I saw this kid, this guy, clearly. And he's the one really who kind of made me question what this was. because that's the one I really pay attention to. And they're like, "Oh, you see, it took some time, and see, and no, but the girl at this point, I didn't even process what she looked like exactly. I could just tell that I saw black hair. That's it. I didn't even really pay attention to her. I just looked at the guy. They were creating this the way she looked in different fashion. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I go back and I look at this kid. Is like this. Yeah, she looked very much like a high schooler. She looked like a teenage kid. And they're like, oh, you see how you not tell? Do you understand these ways of messing with me? They play these disturbing games, but that is part of this cognitive warfare. They want to push me into insanity. They want to make me accept this manipulation. First of all, I'll never identify with this, but I understand every time I look at a child, if somebody will resemble a child or potentially is a child, it's going to be some manipulations regardless. This is how they break down people because it is disorienting. They're trying to make you identify to something that you're not. This is a systematic tactic they've done to others. Many. This is a common tactic that you're going to hear a lot from other target individuals. Many target individuals say the same things. Many. That there is some kind of pedophilia type of torment, and they try to get you to accept this false identity, this personality they create. And then their job is to gaslight you into accepting this. They do whatever acting, gaslighting method to try to get you to accept. For me this morning, it started with babies to little girls, little 7-year-old to whatever, but now to like teenage kids. It's gonna be nonstop. And they're going to make the noise campaign, and they tell me how they're going to kill me with their money. It's like, no, we're mapped. It's like, no, you do the pedophilia type of torture. This is how you're supposed to break me down. That's how you are using this technology onto me for the purpose of developing this technology. What they tweak around is what's going to be used on somebody else. The way they manipulate me will be used on somebody else. This is how they get their expertise, and this is how this technology gets better. Onto us is used as a weapon. Obviously, in the future, this will be some kind of benefit that is not meant to break down people, but maybe to empower, to make people feel better. But this right now is being utilized by the government as a weapon. And they are using cognitive torments, using technology that can manipulate your cognitive ability of rationalizing, perceiving, of thinking, and controlling you. Complete control. This is about controlling a human mind in every way, a body every way. So, and they try to make it seem like it's everything but that's no, we are avenging, we're this and that. You're a bunch of trash and fraudulent trash. But I think these ways of creating this facade helps them cope with the reality of what they really are. It helps them cope with, yes, we know that we're involved in this governmental program that manipulates human beings in these ways. It's super fun. It's amazing. I can control you in every ways. I can control nothing in my life, but I can control you every ways. Or I can try to plan for things in life, but I can control what's going to happen. I can be involved in all kind of your control. So how can I cope with this? Oh, we're doing these adventures, or group, and they stay in character. I was like, you trash us, fraudulent low life. I rather die in hell. I know who's killing me, and I will not give you that credit because I know you're just a bottom feeder. This kill, the me dying, it will still happen if all of these people doing that to me stop doing it today. I will still be dying. Even today, if I'm put back in normal, like everything, I'm healthy again, and they all move, boop, I will be still destroyed one way or another by this governmental entity because I'm a test subject to them. And these bottom feeders are just contracted to implement these tactics for the benefit of this technology, for the benefit of improving this weapon. They are nobody wanting to feel like gods. And I definitely don't think I'm special enough to be allocated all this effort and financial aspect. No, of course I know. I'm a nobody. But this trash want to make themselves believe that they're gods. that it's their money. Of course, they know they're just the trash the government uses. And actually, I like when they call themselves gods. Because one thing for sure, anybody who ever called himself or herself a god have definitely learned a lesson at one point, and it's gonna come to them easy. And I'm talking to like these people are just easy. It's like it was like in 2 seconds. This can be reminded that they're far from anything close to anything. So I definitely like when these perps call themselves gods. It doesn't agitate me. Matter of fact, it's like, oh yes, please continue. He's so brave. Please continue again. So, to all my target individuals, um, stay strong and know who you are because they are doing their best to make you accept these things. The manipulation, there's nothing I can do about. I just need to accept that I'll be manipulated like that for the rest of my life. But it gives me dignity because I'm like, I could have. These people, they're not special. So why? I could have been them. I could have been them. I could have been there just doing these things like that. Thank God I didn't even get lost in get an opportunity such as involving myself in that. Thank you. Thank you, God. Because what if I've got in the wrong circle, everybody's doing it, and I myself have become influenced into this? Never. Thank you, God. Then I'm here calling myself, we're God, I'm God, I'm God, you die, oh, suffer, die. This is how we're like on a Saturday. Thank you, God, for everything.